Are you a woman in your 40s who is exhausted? You've had multiple kids, your weight is going up along with your sugar cravings and hunger, your energy is going down along with your sex drive, and you start having these mood swings? Well, you're not alone, you're not a crazy, and it's not your fault. You see, it's your hormones that are actually out of balance. My name is Dr. Forrest Sauer. I'm a chiropractor that practices functional medicine. I've been doing this with thousands of clients, helping fix the root cause of their imbalances. And in today's video, what I want to go through is what impact having kids has on your body, so that way we can understand what's wrong, but also how to fix the underlying root cause of the problem. And this actually reminds me of a mom that we got to help. Her name is Tina. She's had 12 kids. Yes, 12's a lot. I get it. But this applies to you whether you've had one or two kids or 12 kids or a baker's dozen. The impact that bearing children has on the woman's body is significant. You're literally growing a human inside of you, which means it needs extra vitamins, extra minerals, extra nutrients, extra hormones, and all of that has to come from somewhere, which is coming from the mom. And if we are not properly supporting the body, or if there's hormonal imbalances that you as a mom carry in with you into pregnancy, that can leave you feeling extra drained after you give birth. So let me explain some of the hormones, what's going on, and how we can actually start repairing the hormone at the root cause, just like we did with Tina. So that way we can start refilling her batteries, giving her the energy and the sex drive and the hormones that her body desperately needs. So here's what was going on with Tina. First off, her cortisol, the stress hormone in your body. Cortisol helps you deal with stress, whether it be being a mom, whether it be having a job, having an argument with your spouse, having to go to bed late and wake up early, paying attention to the news. Those are all different forms of stress, and your body handles that stress with a hormone called cortisol. Well, what can happen is when you have too much stress, your cortisol is actually going to go up to deal with all of that stress. But what happens if that stress lasts for a couple months? What about 6 months? What about 8 months? What about years, decades? I've seen clients where they have been stressed out to the max for many, many years. And what happens is the cortisol can only be high for so long. Eventually, your body becomes tired and it stops making so much cortisol to deal with the stress. It's called adrenal fatigue. Your adrenal glands help produce cortisol. And eventually, if you're dealing with overwhelming amounts of stress, your adrenal glands become tired and exhausted, and it stops producing the appropriate amount of cortisol. And you start getting something called adrenal fatigue. Very common for moms to run into adrenal fatigue because you guessed it, not just simply growing babies is stressful on the body, but then comes along the breastfeeding, the late nights, the middle of the nights, you sleep when the baby sleeps, and then all of a sudden you start having more than one kid, and then you're not sleeping when the baby's sleeping, you're running to dance practice, you're going to hockey, you have all these projects, and you have all these activities going on, and life quickly becomes chaotic. And if we're not focusing on good, healthy lifestyle nutrition and mitigating the stress that our body's going under, our adrenal glands can become fatigued, leaving us feel like we're burning the candle at both ends and our batteries are at zero. Progesterone, that's the next hormone that we looked at with Tina. Her progesterone was barely even in existence any longer. Because she had gone through so many childbirths, her progesterone was basically nil. It was nothing. Now, what does progesterone do? Well, it helps induce relaxation. It helps keep you calm. It helps you with sleep and mood swings and balance out mood swings. So when your progesterone's low, guess what's going to come? Anxiety, more mood swings, poor, not restful sleep. These are very, very common. And if your progesterone is lower than 35, that can be a huge red flag showing us that, okay, there's a setup here of more hormonal imbalances to come, because your progesterone just simply doesn't work in isolation. It is impacted by other hormones, which brings us to the next hormone, which is estrogen. Her estrogen was actually very, very high compared to her progesterone. You see, when we took the proper labs, and maybe you've run into this where your doctor has taken the proper labs and the estrogen is within normal range. But when you compare it to the progesterone, it actually looks very, very low. This will happen when your labs come back and your doctor says they're normal. Your progesterone's a little bit low, but your estrogen is within normal range. I don't really know what's wrong. You're fine. You're doing fine. That's a lie, because what you see is if your progesterone is low, then what your body is going to feel is it's going to feel like your estrogen is very high, leading to estrogen dominance. Well, what happens when you have estrogen dominance? Estrogen dominance on the body will impact your thyroid function. Your estrogen will block your body's thyroid hormones from becoming absorbed. It prevents your T3 hormone from being absorbed. So if you have a thyroid problem and you're suspicious that you have a hormonal imbalance, these two things are directly connected. Now, the next thing that estrogen helps impact is obviously sex drive. If you notice that your sex drive starts going down after childbirth, then we have a estrogen and progesterone imbalance that will impact the woman's testosterone. Testosterone helps drive your motivation, your sex drive, your ability to maintain muscle mass. It's very important and not just for the men. The next thing that estrogen is going to impact is your mood swings. We just got done talking about mood swings with progesterone. These two things are connected. So if we have an estrogen dominance and a low progesterone, high estrogen, low progesterone, this is going to impact our mood, which means that you're going to be snapping at your spouse, your kids, your husband, your significant other, and whatever you got. You're not going to be the happiest to be around, and then everybody's walking around on eggshells. Next with Tina was her blood sugar. Not surprising, she was stressed to the max. And she was coping with that stress with sugar, which was actually leading to prediabetes. Now, what most people don't realize is that insulin, it is the big controller of 99% of your hormones. Meaning, if you have insulin resistance or pre-diabetic or you are type 2 diabetic, then that insulin is going to control almost every other hormone inside of your body. Which is why when we're evaluating a client and we recognize they have diabetes or insulin resistance or prediabetes, we need to balance out the blood sugar first before even looking at the estrogen or progesterone. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck on a vicious cycle. So if you've tried balancing out your hormones in the past, but you've ignored your blood sugar and balancing that out, make certain that you watch out for that first. So the fix. What did we do to help Tina? Well, first off, we did comprehensive labs, what I call nose to toes labs. The big truth is that health insurance only pays for labs that they can prescribe drugs for. So we don't play that game. We don't only take the very basic labs. We look at everything inside of the body that eliminates guessing games, so that way we know exactly and we knew exactly what steps we were going to take, what steps to focus on, what steps to ignore with Tina. So first, doing due diligence with the proper labs. The second thing was, you guessed it, balancing out her blood sugar. We already knew that she had too much estrogen and too low of progesterone. However, she was struggling with prediabetes. And so we needed to fix her diabetes first if we were going to have a snowball chance in hell in affecting her estrogen and progesterone for the rest of her life, which was the whole point in her coming to us. She didn't just simply want to get health back for a short period of time. She wanted to maintain that health for the rest of her days here on Earth. So if we're going to do that, then we need to first fix the root cause of the problem, which in her case was balancing out her prediabetes and her insulin resistance. Once we were able to balance out her blood sugar, we could then shift focus to healing her gut and healing her liver. If we're going to impact her hormones, allowing her to feel joy, not be so anxious, being able to calm down her nervous system, we needed to heal the root cause of the problem. And so that means if we're going to do that, we need to heal the gut, get the right vitamins and minerals into her body that she can actually absorb. Then her body can take those vitamins and minerals and then convert it into hormones. Instead of me just simply giving some hormone replacement therapy, I entrust that the body is a little bit more intelligent than anything that I could ever give her. So I allow the body to free up and create hormones on its own, so that way the body can actually work. Now, the next step is liver. The liver is like the janitor for your body. Remember, we have way too much estrogen and too little progesterone. Well, that means we need to get the bad estrogens out of the body. How does that occur? It happens through the liver and the gut, which is why we need to set that strong foundation for Tina. We needed to get the excess estrogens outside of her body via healthy liver and gut detoxification. When I say detoxification, what I don't mean is starving yourself, drinking this witch's brew, nasty tea tincture, whatever you see online that makes you run to the bathroom 15 times a day. That is not a real detox. What a true detox is when you're eating real healthy food. Real food, not prepackaged food, but real food. You're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals through your lifestyle and proper supplementation. This speeds up healing process. So you're healing the gut, you're healing the liver, so that way you can clean out the body. And when you do this, this allows the body space. It frees it up to start healing and creating hormones on its own. The next thing that we did with Tina is based off of her labs, her blood work. We actually looked at everything. We explained what it actually meant, so that way she didn't have to go out and figure out what it meant, but we explained the results for her, and we provided the specific vitamins and minerals based on what her lab work says. So this is where we do not take the one size fits all approach. We need to make certain that what we're going to be doing for Tina is appropriate in her case, because everybody's health is a little bit different. So first, that's why we did what we did. We took the proper labs. Based on those results, here's the vitamins and minerals that you need. What happens in the middle is the proper lifestyle changes that we just simply tell you to do based off of what your health challenges are and what your goals are. So that way you don't have any guessing. So first step is we need to make certain we do the proper labs, detoxify the body, heal the gut, heal the liver, make certain we're getting the right vitamins and minerals in, so that way we can speed things up and speed up the healing process. And the final thing that we did for Tina is that we gave her accountability. We explained what we wanted her to focus on, when to focus on it, what not to focus on, what to ignore, so that way her body could get results. That way she didn't feel overwhelmed by the amount of information, but it's just very simple, doable strategies that she could implement while being mom, while being a wife, while doing all of her regular daily activities, so that way it gave her body the chance to heal. You see, when we work with clients, they need to continue living their life. And that's exactly why we do things very, very slowly and bit by bit, instead of trying to make all the lifestyle changes at once. That's kind of silly. It's kind of like someone trying to do a New Year's resolution where they try to change their diet, exercise every single day, 9 hours of sleep every single night, and practice meditation and journaling for 2 hours. It's just unsustainable. It doesn't work. And so that's why we coach our clients and hold them accountable to make certain that they're doing the right things in the right way, in the right time, so that way their body can heal. So that's what we did with Tina's case. We took a very comprehensive approach, so that way there was no more guessing games. If this sounds like you and you're looking for help, you can most certainly reach out to us and ask what would your wellness journey look like, so that way we can actually start fixing the root cause of the problem. Or in the meantime, just simply hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to get more videos like this. If you have a specific question, comment below, so that way we can get your questions answered and you get to get back to living the kind of quality of life that I, quite frankly, think that you deserve. In the meantime, my name is Dr. Forrest Sauer, and I'll be chatting with you soon.